Hello, welcome. You're watching the Monday edition of This is Exclusive with me, Shavan Sen. I'm coming to you tonight with two super exclusive stories. The first, the Greed Factory. 29 Telugu stars have been called in for questioning by the Enforcement Director. What's this scam all about? And the other is the plea made by a Jammu and Kashmir national who has been abducted in Niger. Al-Qaeda offshoot in play. A detailed report as to what really happened when the terror attack took place in Niger. All this and much more on this edition of This is Exclusive. But up first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Jammu and Kashmir national Ranjeet Singh abducted by Al-Qaeda offshoot in Niger. Family speaks to Republic, appeals for government intervention on priority. Republic blows the lid off not one but multiple online betting app scams. Big celebrities and top names from the entertainment and sporting world under the Enforcement Directorate scanner. The Bombay High Court acquits all 12 convicts in the 2006 Mumbai train blast, sets aside their death penalties and life terms. Impeachment proceedings against Justice Yashwant Verma set in motion. 50 NDA MPs back the move. Before I bring you our two special stories, I'm starting this edition with some breaking news coming in. This is with regards to an Air India flight AI2403 operating from Delhi to Kolkata, originally scheduled to depart around 4:30 this evening, has been pushed back but returned to the bay due to a technical issue that has been related to the aircraft's rudder control system. As per the initial inputs from the Delhi hub, the aircraft performed a low-speed rejected takeoff before returning safely. All passengers and crew are safe. In fact, today, two incidents have been linked to Air India. The first now coming in from the Delhi-Kolkata Air India flight, which was about to take off, has now been rejected due to technical snag. Earlier today, another Air India A320 flight had veered off the runway in Mumbai from runway number 27. We are also going to get you fresh details coming in from the preliminary information submitted by the airline to DGCA. In fact, we have also got fresh images of the damages that have been sustained by the aircraft. In fact, first, let me get you the details of the Air India flight, which was to land in Kolkata, Delhi-Kolkata Air India flight, which has now been grounded after a technical snag that has been reported. The details I'll just quickly take you through before I go across to our aviation correspondent Harsha getting us the latest details. In fact, this flight has returned to the bay due to technical issue. Air India flight number AI2403 operating from Delhi to Kolkata, that was scheduled to depart around 4:30 this evening, returned to the bay due to a technical issue that's related to the aircraft's rudder control system. Now, the aircraft performed a low-speed rejected takeoff before returning safely. We are given to understand all passengers are safe. We'll try and see if we can go across to Harsha, who's joining us on this broadcast, getting us the latest details. The Delhi-Kolkata Air India flight, which has now been grounded after technical snag. Well, in fact, before I take you through some more details coming in with regards to the latest episode linked to Air India, earlier today, Air India's flight from Calicut to Mumbai. In fact, what happened this morning was that it had veered off the runway. Let me just quickly take you through some of the details that we have. This is the runway number 27 in Mumbai, where Air India flight, which had taken off from Calicut, landed in Mumbai. This was amidst adverse weather conditions, and this, what we are given to understand, this is the exact area where the aircraft veered away. It's the right wheel of the aircraft that veered away and moved into an unpaved structure that you see on your screens right now. That's the landing, and it moves towards the right hand side. In fact, this is a new aircraft which was earlier with Vistara. That's the Airbus 320 Neo, which has been operated by Air India, landed amid adverse weather conditions. Questions are also being raised about the role of the ATC, allowing the aircraft to basically land amidst absolute adverse weather conditions. In fact, it turns out that it has sustained serious damages, the aircraft's right engine cowling being one such, and the undercarriage has been completely damaged, is what we are being told. This is after the engineering inspection that has been done, and that's the preliminary report coming in. Let me also go across to my colleague Harsha, who's joining us on this broadcast. Harsha, first I want to begin by asking you with regards to the Air India Delhi-Kolkata flight, what details are you getting in? Meanwhile, we'll also put out the details of the report that we have now accessed. That's the preliminary assessment report of the flight that landed in Mumbai. First, with regards to the Kolkata flight.
So, Shawan, it was the flight which was scheduled to take off at 5:30 p.m. IST from Delhi International Airport, Delhi to Kolkata, Air India. And this is also one we are speaking about, is also Air India 320 Airbus, which was scheduled to take off, but it couldn't take off because as soon as it reached the runway, it was rejected because the takeoff was rejected by the ATC because there was some technical issue. As pilot mentioned to the ATC, there was the aircraft rudder control system. The rudder control system in the tire was a problematic technical error, because of which immediately the flight was suspended and the flight was not allowed to take off. Immediately the flight turned around and also aircraft went to the isolation bay. They're right now fixing the technical snag as what would have happened, and because during a maintenance check there was no issue with the aircraft rudder control system, pilot immediately saw that there's a problem with the aircraft rudder control system, because there was a problem during takeoff. It was not taking up, it was very low flying, and that's the reason pilot immediately informed it about to the ATC, and takeoff was immediately suspended. Right now all the passengers have been safely taken to the have been deboarded from the aircraft, and aircraft is being maintained right now. It has went to the repairing, and the initial details have been shared with the regulatory body by Air India. Soon more information on this will come, and passenger substitute flight would be arranged for the passengers. And there's a second incident in the Air India aircraft of technical snag. Back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Harsha, for getting us the latest details. In fact, two such incidents that have been reported today coming in from Air India. Tonight, this story comes to you from Niger's volatile Dosso region, where a brutal terrorist attack has shattered lives and left a family completely in despair. On 15th of July, 2 Indian nationals were killed and another, Ranjeet Singh, was abducted. Far from the conflict zone in the quiet village of Chakkakundi in Jammu and Kashmir, a family awaits in anguish, grappling with the sudden loss of contact and the agonizing silence that followed. As the Indian government races against time to secure Ranjeet's release and the nation watches with a bated breath, we bring you the full story, exploring the escalating dangers in Niger, the desperate pleas of a heartbroken family, and the questions surrounding the company's response. Here's a full report.
In Niger's conflict-ravaged Dosso region, a terrorist attack on the 15th of July has claimed the lives of 2 Indian nationals and left another, Ranjeet Singh, abducted. The victims, working at a power project site 140 kilometers away from the capital Niamey, were ambushed by unidentified gunmen. The Indian embassy in Niger is coordinating with local authorities to repatriate the bodies of the deceased and secure Ranjeet Singh's safe release. Singh had been in regular contact with his family since leaving India in 2023. But on the day of the attack, the family lost contact post 2:46 p.m. in the afternoon. Back home, in the Chakkakundi village of Ramban in Jammu and Kashmir, a distraught family is making desperate appeals.
माता जी, आपकी आखिरी बार बात कब हुई थी उनसे?
15 तारीख को।
क्या मतलब नॉर्मल बात थी?
हाँ, नॉर्मली किया था, क्या बना रहे थे, क्या कर रहे थे। हाँ, फिर वो चला गया, वो नेटवर्क नहीं आ रहा था, हमारे साथ बात नहीं हुई। हम फिर परेशान हो गए, कहाँ गया हमारा बेटा, क्यों नहीं नेटवर्क आ रहा है। वो कंपनी से गया, वीज़ा बना के चला गया तो उधर बोलने लगा, वो कनेक्ट हो गया। हमें क्या पता है कहाँ कनेक्ट हुआ कहाँ नहीं है, हमें कोई पता थोड़ा है। सरकार से मेरी मस्त है, हमें मस्त करे सरकार। मोदी जी सबसे बड़ा है, मोदी भी हमारी मस्त करे।
Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has urged the External Affairs Ministry to intervene urgently. This is not the first such incident. In April, 5 Indian workers from Jharkhand employed by Kalparatu Power Transmission Limited were kidnapped in Niger's Tillaberi region during an attack that killed 12 soldiers. Their whereabouts remain unknown. Niger has been battling a jihadi insurgency linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State, a crisis that has worsened since the 2023 military coup. Foreigners, including aid workers and Indian nationals, are increasingly being targeted. The Indian government has advised its citizens in Niger to remain vigilant and is working to ensure the safe release of all abducted nationals. But for families back home, the wait is agonizing.
आज तकरीबन हफ्ते से ज़्यादा, तकरीबन हफ्ता हो गया है।
कोई गौर नहीं है।
कोई कुछ बताया कंपनी वालों ने क्या हुआ?
कुछ नहीं।
बाकी जगहों से क्या पता चला?
बाकी जगहों से भाई कहीं ले गए, मिलिटेंट ले गए, गुंडे ले गए, पता नहीं।
सरकार से आप क्या कहेंगे?
सरकार करेगी मदद तो यही कहते हैं, अर्ज करते हैं सरकार को कि भाई मोदी जी ने पहले भी इंडिया से बाहर गए थे, विदेशों में तो छुड़ा कर लाए थे।
The company, Transrail Lighting Limited, has been misleading family members as they failed to provide any clear communication. And it was only after their efforts that the company reached out to them. Repeated calls to the company's HR by Republic TV since this morning have gone unanswered, and questions on mail are yet to be seen.
जो कंपनी थी जो कि वहाँ पे ट्रांसमिशन इंडस्ट्री में थे, कंपनी ऑफिशियल्स आपको अभी तक क्या बता रहे हैं?
पहले तो उन्होंने मुझे इन्फॉर्मेशन देने में काफ़ी टाइम लगाया, मेरी फैमिली को इन्फॉर्म किया, लेकिन मुझे बस यही बताया कि आपके हस्बैंड जंगल की ओर भाग गए हैं अफरा तफरी में, तो हम उनको सर्च करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। लेकिन मैंने बहुत कोशिश की, कंपनी उतना एफर्ट्स नहीं लगा रही है। मैं यहाँ से कोशिश करती हूँ, मैं कॉल्स करती हूँ तो ही कुछ बताते हैं, नहीं तो वहाँ से बताने की उतना नहीं करते हैं, एफर्ट्स बिल्कुल भी नहीं लगाते हैं। मेरी भारत सरकार से, मेरी हर किसी से जो भी मेरी ये बात सुन रहा है, और विदेश मंत्रालय से यही अपील है कि मेरे हस्बैंड, जिनका नाम रंजीत सिंह है, वो सीनियर सेफ्टी ऑफिसर एज वहाँ पे काम कर रहे थे, 15 जुलाई से लापता हैं। मुझे उनका कोई भी क्लू नहीं है, कोई ऐसा मतलब इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है कि वो किस हालत में हैं, कैसे हैं। मैं सबसे यही अपील करती हूँ, सभी मंत्रालय से, गृह मंत्रालय से, मोदी जी से, जितेंद्र जी से, कि उनको सेफली घर लाया जाए। मैं चाहती हूँ कि वो सेफली घर आ जाएं। मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए। मेरे छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, मेरे जो सास ससुर हैं वो काफ़ी एज्ड हैं, मैं उनको नहीं संभाल पा रही हूँ। मैं खुद को संभालूँ, उनको संभालूँ, मैं एक अकेले दिन भर उनको, बच्चों को अकेला छोड़ के आती हूँ। मेरी सरकार से यही अपील है कि मेरे हस्बैंड को सेफली घर लाया जाए, हर प्रकार की कोशिश की जाए उनसे। मुझे बस एक बार बात करवा दी जाए, मैं और कुछ नहीं चाहती हूँ इस समय। बस मैं अपने हस्बैंड की सुरक्षा चाहती हूँ, और मैं सरकार से ये अपील करती हूँ कि उनको सेफली घर लाया जाए।
A family clings to hope, their prayers echoing across borders for Ranjeet's safe return.
Well, picking up some breaking updates on this very story, sources say that the Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin terror group is suspected to be behind the attack on 15th of July, which subsequently led to the kidnapping of Ranjeet Singh. Now, this group is linked to the Al-Qaeda. It was formed in Mali in 2017 as a coalition of 5 jihadist terrorist groups. JNIM is led by Iliad Ghali, a former Malian diplomat linked to the Tuareg ethnic group. The group rejects the authority of the Sahel government and demands to impose its strict interpretation of Islam and Sharia. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first big confirmation coming in that an Al-Qaeda offshoot Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam I just put this out. It's an Al-Qaeda offshoot. Al-Qaeda offshoot that's behind the abduction of an Indian national in Niger. In fact, we have reached out to the Ministry of External Affairs hoping for some sort of a confirmation to come in and whether at all the government has been successful in getting details about Ranjeet Singh's whereabouts. Let me also go across to my colleague Gursimran, who is getting us the latest details. He's also spoken to the Deputy Commissioner of the area. In fact, the latest now coming in that MOS Jitendra Singh has now written a letter to the Ministry of External Affairs hoping for some sort of an intervention from the Indian government. Let me also go across to my colleague Gursimran, who's getting us the latest details. And let me also take you through some of the details with regards to this particular group that you see, Al-Qaeda's terror footprint in Niger. This is an offshoot, part of the 5 jihadist groups that have come together. Gursimran, you've spoken to the DC as well as the family members. First, with regards to what really happened and the fact that this is an Al-Qaeda offshoot, how serious is the situation?
See, Shawan, if we go by the investigation that has been carried out so far by the Niger Intelligence Agency, this is their homeland security that looks after their internal security and their security services group that looks after the internal investigation. They were first, earlier they were looking into the IS angle, they were looking into the Lukwara and the EGIS group that are affiliated to the IS, but now the investigation, what they have conducted so far, hints the clear hand of the JNIM, that is the Jamaat Nusratul Islam Muslimin group that is affiliated to the Al-Qaeda, because in the Sahel region, that is between the Sahara Desert and the savannas, here after the rise of the Boko Haram and then we saw the Islamic State, the West Africa, they split into this region, and now what is happening that near the Chad Lake area, now the presence of JNIM is increasing with each passing day. If we speak of last 1 month, the data reveals that in the Mali, from where the JNIM started, it has carried out more than a dozen attacks, and now it is expanding its area to the Niger. They are carrying out the multiple attacks, back-to-back attack, and the day when the attack in the Niger has taken place, 5 attacks were carried out by the JNIM in the Mali region. So it is very clear that in these countries of the Africa, the JNIM, which is a jihadi group, a conglomerate of 5 jihadi groups coming together in 2017 to actually establish the Sharia law in this very area, they are carrying out the attacks. Now the reason behind this could be that their modus operandi is almost similar to what the IS West Africa is actually doing. They are providing security and food to the people, to the establishment that are carrying out the work there. So that might be one of the reasons.
Right. In fact, we've also reached out to the Ministry of External Affairs. They have told us that they've issued a statement 3 days ago and they have nothing more to add. The reality is that the government of India will certainly have to wake up to what the family members are essentially indicating, that the matter has become extremely serious, hoping that there would be some sort of a resolution. Thank you very much, Gursimran, for getting us the latest details. Ladies and gentlemen, online betting app scams have emerged as a significant threat in the digital age, exploiting the popularity of online gambling and lax regulatory oversight to defraud millions of users globally. These scams typically involve unregistered or offshore platforms that lure users with promises of high returns, quick payouts, and attractive bonuses only to manipulate outcomes, siphon funds, or launder money through complex mechanical and financial networks. Operating under the guise of legitimate gaming or sports betting apps, these platforms often violate the local laws. Tonight, we bring you details of 3 such scams currently making headlines and exclusive breaking inputs. In fact, these scams. Let's first get you the breaking update on the 1x betting app scam. The Enforcement Directorate is intensifying its probe into the illegal 1x betting app scam, summoning Indian cricketers Suresh Raina and Shikhar Dhawan for questioning over their alleged endorsements of the banned platform. However, both the cricketers failed to appear for the scheduled questioning, prompting the ED to consider issuing fresh summons as part of its ongoing investigation into the violations of the Information Technology Act. In fact, this is also part of the FEBA, where we are given to understand that they have basically called in for questioning of the cricketers. Not just one particular app linked to the 1xBet scam are the following actors as well as cricketers who are now being called in for questioning by the Enforcement Directorate. Let's also bring you more overview into what this scam is. The 1xBet betting app scam involves an illegal online betting platform operating under the surrogate names like 1xBat to circumvent Indian laws. The Enforcement Directorate's investigation expanded in 2025 revealed that the 1xBet used rigged algorithms, classifying it as a gambling operation rather than a skill-based game. The platform employed deceptive tactics such as QR codes and web links in advertisements to redirect the users to their illegal platform. The scam, in fact, is part of a broader illegal betting industry in India valued at over $100 billion annually with 11 crore daily users. The Enforcement Directorate's probe into the 1xBet is linked to the larger Mahadev betting app scam, where 1xBet's promoters facing extradition from Dubai created subsidiary apps like Fair Play to expand their operations. Now let's also take you through case 2, the Fair Play betting app scam, a prominent case of illegal online betting and money laundering, with the Enforcement Directorate estimating the scam's proceeds of over 4,000 crore rupees to about 13,000 crore rupees. Fair Play, an unregistered platform in India, illegally streamed IPL matches and facilitated the betting scam on sports. The scam, masterminded by Krish Lakshmi Chand Shah, Chirag Shah and Chintan Shah, involved laundering funds through 400 dummy bank accounts and bogus import-export transactions, with money funneled to shell companies in Dubai and Malta. The Enforcement Directorate's 2025 charge sheet revealed that Fair Play returned 70% of the collected hands to players to maintain engagement retainership of about 30% as profit. The app employed high-profile celebrities, including Bollywood stars like Ranbir Kapoor, Shraddha Kapoor, Sanjay Dutt, Krish Shah, who sold 70% of the Fair Play to Mahadev betting app promoters in 2023, still remains absconding. And finally, case number 3, the Hyderabad betting app scam involving Rana Raghubati, centers on allegations that the actor, along with 28 other celebrities and as well as influencers, promoted illegal online betting platforms, leading to significant financial losses for the users. The Enforcement Directorate registered a case under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act following an FIR that was first filed by the Hyderabad Cyberabad police, prompted by a complaint from businessman Sharma on 19th of March 2025. Right? Now, he alleged that celebrities endorsed apps through pop-up ads and social media, misleading vulnerable individuals, particularly from the middle class as well as lower class, into investing in these platforms, resulting in financial distress and, in some cases, suicides. The Enforcement Directorate has already summoned Raghubati to appear on 23rd of July to investigate potential money laundering tied to these promotions. Well, in fact, that's all that we could have packed in this edition of This Is Exclusive. Coming up, trending with my colleague Akanksha.